If Senate Bill 5 is repealed, will Republicans finally recognize the power of the middle class? Text A for yes, text B for no to 622-639, and you can always go to our blog at ed.msnbc.com. And on Twitter, Election Day is trending across Ohio. If you're not with me here in Columbus, you can still join the conversation using hashtag EdShowIssue2. Issue number 2. We'll be following the results and bringing the latest numbers throughout the show. Coming up, Harold Shaitberger and Richard Trumka on labor's impact in getting out the vote in this state. State Senator Nina Turner will be here. What's next for the Ohio legislature and Governor Kasich on the heels of a potential big defeat? And Herman Cain denies the claims of sexual harassment from a fourth woman and says he's not dropping out of the race. Former RNC Chair Michael Steele to join me later in the program. Stay tuned. You're watching The Ed Show live from Columbus, Ohio, here on MSNBC. Than an hour. The returns are being tabulated at this time with 1%, according to the Secretary of State's office here in Ohio. Yes on issue 2 is at 33%, and no on issue 2 is at 67%. That's with 1% reporting. It's going to be a long night. Let's turn to Harold Shaitberger, president of the International Association of Firefighters, and Richard Trumka, president of the AFL-CIO. Now, I understand that both of you gentlemen, when you retire, you're going to go into the roadmap business because you know Ohio that well. Is that right?
I know it a lot better in the last 5 days.
All right. The turnout. Richard, what about it? It sounds like you really got your people out.
You know, this has been the best unified labor movement effort that we've seen. Every sector. Whether it's the public employees did a tremendous job, the private sector did a great job, the building trades did a great job. We all came together, educated our members, phone banked them, leafleted them, got them out to the polls, and I got to take my hats off to every one of the unions out here. They did an incredible job of getting our members out.
Harold, what does this mean for 2012? I mean, labor is going to be counted on big time, and you've seen a lot of different organizations come together. In hindsight, this might have been one of the best things that's ever happened to labor in America.
Well, first of all, I think this vote is going to show that the extreme right wing, like John Kasich, who took a terrible economy and took advantage of workers and tried to destroy their values and their rights, was actually an overreach. And the citizens of Ohio have said, no, we are not going to allow workers to be treated like this. And I think this energy, and I believe this galvanization of our members is clearly going to carry over. It's going to carry over certainly across this country, but it particularly is going to carry over in these battleground states where right-wing politicians like Rick Scott, Scott Walker, Snyder, Chris Christie are going to have to face an electorate that is energized.
Richard, have you found the template to fight Citizens United? I mean, are you a lot better tonight than you were back in Wisconsin a few months ago? I mean, is it starting to grow the infrastructure and how to work against Citizens United? Because this is just a sprinkling of the money that we're going to be seeing in 2012.
Absolutely. What this shows is that when our members are motivated, when they're united, no one can turn them around. They simply cannot beat us with their money because we put too many people on the floor. They hire campaign workers. We had thousands of volunteers that came out like these there, that were motivated, that believed in what they're doing, that wanted to protect public safety, that wanted to protect the public education, and wanted to protect the middle class. They'll do the same thing next year for candidates that stand with us.
What about... Welcome back to The Ed Show. We're continuing to monitor tonight's election results here in Ohio. The latest numbers on issue 2, according to the Secretary of State's office, 3% of the precincts reporting. A yes vote on issue 2 is at 35%. A no vote on issue 2 is at 65%. But it's the other big story of the day that we're going to pay attention to now. Welcome back to the Ed Show, live from Columbus, Ohio. As we wait the results of the vote on issue 2, almost 500,000 votes have been counted. Yes on issue 2 is at 36%. No on issue 2 is at 64%. Governor John Kasich played it safe last night, talking to a few hundred Tea Partiers at the Holiday Inn. He didn't even mention issue 2 until the last 2 minutes of his speech. Whatever happens tonight, the battle over union rights has dealt a huge blow to Kasich's popularity. His approval rating is hovering just over 30%. He is the second most unpopular governor in the United States. But Ohio is stuck with him for 3 more years because there is no recall. So what's Kasich's next move? We would love for the governor to come on over here and sit down and talk to the lovable me, Big Eddie, and let's just talk about the future of Ohio on the heels of this. Can we get that done? We got this chair right here for you, John. Welcome back to the Ed Show. It's election night in Ohio, and we're coming to you live from Columbus. The latest results we have now, with 8% of the precincts reporting. A yes vote on issue 2 is at 37%. The no vote stands at 63%. That is with 8% of the precincts. Now, I want to talk to some of the hardworking folks here who really got the vote going. Lee Saunders of AFSCME is with us tonight, and also Tim Berger from the AFL-CIO here in Ohio. Tonight in our text survey, I asked if Senate Bill 5 is repealed, will Republicans finally recognize the power of the middle class? 37% of you said yes, 63% of you said no. We'll hear from the great folks of Ohio when I come back, and I want you to know that this table was built by a union carpenter. We're right back.